Athlon Optics here on BDB. Hello everybody, Big Daddy here, Big Dick Ballistics, coming at you today with an LPVO from Athlon Optics. Before we get into it, check out BigDickBallistics.com for merch. Every dollar you spend on there supports the channel and keeps us going for you. If you're a civil servant in New York City, check out Goldberg and McEnany. They specialize in 3/4 disability pensions and will help you get the right information that you need to get the money you deserve. They cater to PD, FD, sanitation, anybody in civil service across the board. 9/11 related injuries and pensions, so check them out. So back in October of last year, Athlon was so nice. They sent me out this LPVO and a bunch of accessories for it, and I finally just got around to it. I've been so backed up, so thank you to Athlon for giving me this opportunity. Athlon's been around for a hot minute, and they make really nice optics. From binos, spotting scopes, rifle scopes, anything and everything you could think of, from really low end to super high end. Stuff that would compete in PRS matches all around the world and so on and so forth, to being on a patrol rifle in the back of a police car. My experience with LPVOs is kind of limited. I only have two. I'll show you what I have and I'll show you what I have them on. First up, it's safe, clear, and empty. Okay, no source, safety's on, chamber's clear. I have an Armalite AR10 Tac 18. I have a Trijicon AccuPower on it. It's a 30mm tube, 1-4x24 with a green illuminated duplex reticle. It's really nice. It goes out to distance and it hits hard, but it really does lack the capacity when it comes to positive target ID if it was being used in a deadly physical force situation to neutralize a threat. But again, rock solid, upwards of around $1,000, a little less, but again, rock solid piece of kit on a rock solid rifle. I also have on my HK MR556A1 a Steiner PX4i. That's a 1-4x24 30mm tube, and it's got an illuminated dot in the middle. Both of them, they're second focal plane, so the actual crosshairs, the reticles, they stay the same size whether you're zooming in or zooming out. And again, this is a great battle-worthy optic. Accurate as fuck, really good, really dependable. Both great companies, but again, it's missing the light gathering that I need and the zoom that I need for positive threat identification, or if I just wanted to go a little bit further and be a little bit more precise with my shooting. So enter Athlon's ETR UHD, Ultra HD. High quality glass, it's made in China, but the design came from America. Comes with a lifetime warranty. This optic's a little under $1,000. There's coupon codes out there, but honestly, it's worth every single penny compared to its competitors that you're paying double for and getting the same, if not more, value from and options from. So let's check this out. Comes in a nicely padded case. Oh shit. Things changed when I first got this. I initially told them I was going to mount it on an AR10 or some kind of SCAR platform, so they sent me a one-piece cantilever mount, and I mounted it. And the rifle that I mounted on, which I just acquired recently, which is awesome, a Mossberg MVP Patrol in 308, didn't work well with this cantilever mount, so I built a cheek rest on it using cardboard and hockey tape, and it worked out fine. A little bit of scope shadow, right, more than I would care to have, but I worked through it. But as of recently, I bought a set of rings from Athlon and mounted them up. So let's check out this gun and this optic. So we're going to make this thing safe, clear, and empty first. So we're in a safe direction. All right, the safety is on. We're going to remove that source and check that chamber. It's safe, clear, and empty. And my students, you know that spiel better than anybody. So guys, this is the UHD, all right, the ultra high definition ETR. It is awesome. It's a beefy son of a bitch. It's at 29 ounces. These are their rings that I put on. When you see the little video clips, which I'll show for you in a second, you're going to notice the cantilever with a homemade cheek riser on it. Bomb-proof. Awesome stuff. So I came into this rifle through a friend. They wanted to get rid of it, and I'm very fond of bolt guns. all right, especially in man-stopping calibers, the heavy hitters. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh, you're a FUD, you could do all that with 223. Yeah, you can. Getting hit with a 5.56 or a 223 is no joke, but the kinetic energy transfer on a human being is that much more with a 308. It is what it is. So usually I carry an M4 to and from work every day in the back of the car, but this is going to replace it. Now, this is a Mossberg MVP Patrol in 308. It's got a 16.25-inch barrel, and it is nasty. It's very accurate. It's got a nice trigger, almost comparable to the Savage Accu trigger. Now, I put a 51-tooth brake on here to accommodate my AAC 762 SD suppressor. And this takes also Magpul PMags for the 308 models. So I can get a 10, 20, 25, it doesn't matter. So first impressions, this thing is big. It's much bigger than the other two that I have. The other two have a 30 millimeter tube. This has a 34 right out the gate. So what's that mean? More light, much brighter, bigger surface area to look through, and a bigger field of view. Not by much, but a little bit more noticeable, so that's cool. We'll start from back to front. Has a rear focus knob, so if you have to adjust ever so slightly, you can. They sent these scope covers, very reminiscent of the Vortex scope covers, but they're nice, high quality. All right, they feel good. It's got magnification, and they added in an additional throw lever for me, right, from 1 to 10, and it's in a first focal plane. So if you don't know the difference, first focal plane, the reticle is always trued out, which means if your hold or dial up calls for a mil, it's still going to be a mil, whether you're at 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 power. We have that throw lever on here. Again, it's nice and positive. At 10 power, it does get close to the bolt, so never really bring it up to 10, or if I have to throw the bolt open, I'll move it ever so slightly. You don't need the throw lever, but it's cool to have. You have an adjustable turret for elevation that's accessible. You just pull it up, and it's got nice positive clicks. And it also has a zero stop as well. So when I actually zero this thing in, get it locked up, I can remove the cap, reset the turret back to 0. If I want, I could lock that turret down so it doesn't go past 0. That way, if I have to dial up quick, I can just spin it back on the fly and it'll stop at that 0 mark. The windage, right, from side to side is capped off. Usually when I do any kind of shooting, I don't dial for windage. I only hold for windage. That's why I use that nice reticle. On the side, I have multiple adjustments for illumination. Now, I really love the illumination on this. It's really bright. It has about 6 settings with a stop in between. So if I find a setting that I like, that I'm going to be using most of the time, between 4 and 5 or 3 and 4, I can leave it hovering right there. So I could go to the high or low. I don't have to worry about dialing the illumination up all the time from 0 to whatever number. I could just, bam, go right to 3, or bam, right to 4 from 0. This is in a mil, so it's 10th adjustments, which I find to be so much more accurate and so much more easy to speak if you're working with somebody in a spot or sniper capacity. The glass is Ultra HD. The reticle, I can best describe it as a modified circle, almost like comparable to a hollow sun. The brightness is amazing. Some people have complained it's a little low. I think it's great. Those first generation EOTech Voodoos back in the day, those were low. But these, you get your money's worth. If you run this thing at 1 power, adjust your focus to where both your eyes are open, you can almost run this thing as a reflex sight or a rapid acquisition optic, like an aim point, an EOTech, so on and so forth. You're seeing it in a regular configuration with the factory rings. The video clips that you're seeing here, there's the cantilever mount. So the MOA is slightly higher, all right? I built a cheek riser, but again, I shot this thing doing positional work. At my compound out in good old Pennsylvania, and my range went out to 300 yards. So that's all I had to play with. My dial up with all the inputted information running about 24, 32 feet per second was about 1.3 mils. So I dialed up and I was whacking B8s consistently with sub-MOA groups. So for a little 16-inch pig of a gun, this thing works, but I couldn't contribute it to just the gun. It's the optic, folks. It's repeatable, bomb-proof optics that make the gun run good. And it's also this, me behind it with my booger hook. Running both suppressed and unsuppressed, no issues at all. This thing could take a beating and keep on going. Now, there's some people out there that are purists and they only want to go with Taylor's, Swarovski, Schmidt-Bender, Night Force, just to name a few. Give Athlon a try. They make great stuff. They have MAP pricing, military pricing, so they do have discounts. Their stuff is all over Amazon. What you're going to pay, a little under $1,000 for this, is worth far more to keep money in your pocket with a lifetime warranty, ruggedness, and durability that you need to get the job done. I can't stress enough how much a 1 to 10 power makes a difference compared to my two other optics that you saw in 1 to 4. Positive threat recognition, identification, it's paramount. You can't take that shot, nor can you take a precise shot on paper without being identify your target. 10 16-inch patrol rifles go the distance, absolutely, but not without a good optic. So my Vortex razors, you're going to spend close to $2,000, if not more, on a Razor HD Gen 3, E-Series, whatever. Get this instead, all right? Save the money, take a class, do what you got to do. Train, ammo, whatever you got to do to get time behind the gun to perfect your craft. I say it all the time. Will you? It's up to you. Another added bonus with this thing, in the bottom there's a range-finding reticle for out to 1,000 yards. The glass, my friends, is super clear. The stadia lines are crisp. Attention to detail is everything with this thing. How does Big Daddy rate this thing? I rate it as life-saving equipment, and I think it's worth every penny. And having known now what I know about Athlon optics, I would have dipped into my pocket a long time ago to purchase one of these things and put it on some kind of patrol rifle or this, which is going to be potentially life-saving equipment. Now, guys will be like, oh, it's just a Mossberg. It's, not high-end. It's not mid-tier. It's low-tier. It's whatever tier you make of it. It's whatever tier you put behind the gun, or whatever time you put behind the gun. That's what you make of it. And again, I want to thank Athlon so much for giving me this opportunity to do this review for them. It really means a lot to me. So guys, check out Athlon. Again, check out the Rusty Cuffs podcast. Check out the law firm of Goldberg and McEnany. And also check out BigDickBallistics.com for merch. Educate yourselves, your family, train, and vote the right way. Stay safe.